got up in the morning. I had a dentist appointment, an early dentist appointment downtown. And I went to go use the washroom and don't remember anything else.
I remember sitting in the hospital the lobby of the Victoria Hospital and just thinking exactly that. Our pretty little picture is gone.
She was 2, she was doing good. By February is kind of when we started noticing she was regressing a little bit.
When she was diagnosed, I guess it'd be 13 and a half years ago now, roughly speaking, that, yeah, it was a bit of a shock, kind of we're not used to that being smaller town people. It kind of sets you back and kind of really, it definitely gives you some value in life.
Connor was 27 years old. A child is always your child. And my mother once told me that it doesn't matter how old your children are, you will always, always worry about them.
We were pretty happy. We both had what we considered our career type jobs. He a police officer and I was a dispatcher for the RCMP. We had our house and our dog and our little baby on the way, and I was home from work because I was very sick from being pregnant, and something woke me up, and it was just something was banging on the floor in the bathroom.
She told me that I had fallen in between the toilet and the shower and had a seizure.
I phoned 911 and said, I think he's had a seizure. Can you send an ambulance?
They gave me a CT scan and found out that there was a mass on my brain.
We could either wait 4 months or 3 months and have another MRI and take it out then, down the road, or take it out now. So it was a pretty tough decision, being 5 months pregnant. If we waited 4 months down the line, you can kind of put the math together that we would have a newborn, and it wouldn't work out very well.
After discussing it in length with my wife and my family, we thought it was the best option to actually figure out what was going on. Our first question to my oncologist was, is this cancer? And when he said yes, both of our hearts just dropped. There's a picture of my boy right there. My initial thought was I may not get to meet him.
It's hard to kind of take in the information. Connor basically reacted the same way. So I was trying to take notes and kind of figure out where do we go from here.
Once I had kind of healed up, I thought, you know what, I made it through one surgery. I can deal with this, and I'm a strong person, and I have a strong support system. There's lots of people out there in this world that don't have that.
You always gotta try your hardest and fight it all the time.
What gives you that strength? What
To know that there is a possibility, that it is an actual thing, that there is a cure, that I actually can do it.
Well, we kind of always had a little bit of cancer in the family. I never knew my grandpa, but my dad said he passed away with cancer at a young age. But it really hit our kind of immediate family when our daughter was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor. You go totally numb and you just try and get through each hour at a time.
We're all thinking positive, we're all thinking optimistic that we'll get through this and then a few more treatments and she'll be good and back to normal and our life will be normal again, and away we go. As we all know, in most cases it doesn't happen that way.
She would not be able to even hold a glass or feed herself anymore. Sometimes she wouldn't be able to walk. We took her in one really bad day to walk in that I knew my own doctor was there, and he just was astonished, and he sent us for an MRI right away. Radiation at that point in time, because she was so young, was not a great option for her, that they would try this type of chemo and that it worked in several other cases, and that they would hope that it was a higher percentage and give her better odds.
The biggest thing is to be able to accept that I can't do anything. We have a child that has a problem that I can't fix. I'm giving my child more or less to the specialist saying, can you fix her?
My envision for having our child was the doctor delivering him or her, saying, congratulations, you have a brand new baby girl or boy. That moment was one that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Our son gave us something to look at and see that wasn't cancer and that needed us, both of us. So he makes Connor push and stay positive. We can't shut down and just stop moving because we have him. He needs us.
The prognosis originally, when I first saw my first oncologist, was a life expectancy of about 10 years. Hearing that, knowing that I have a son on the way, was mind-blowing. You start to think of things like your child's graduation, your child's marriage. I want to be there for those types of things. And when they told me about this chemotherapy and how the median life expectancy was 14 years, pushed up to 14 years. So you start to think, well, maybe I'm above the median. And you start to think, well, what research can be done in 14 years?
I stayed home with her until almost 5 years ago. So for the first 5 years, I was a mother and I was a caretaker. She was never out of my sight, never away from me.
They see their friends doing things, phys ed or active in sporting, so to speak. They want to partake of that, but they know they can't because they can't see, they can't hear, they got tunnel vision or whatever physical disability they got.
What's been the hardest part about going through all of this?
Losing friends just because they don't understand, they don't want to. They don't want to have to deal with it.
I was there every day in the classroom, monitoring her, making sure that the EAs were knowledgeable with her seizures and making sure that she had the best possible experience that she could.
I hope she can live as a normal life as possible, do as much things as possible, because you've noticed already at her age that, again, the segregation from kids her age are saying she's weird, she's a little bit different, so to speak.
She has a group of kids from New Era that they volunteer, and she knew our story and they wanted to meet Tina. And since the meeting this spring that she organized, Katrina last week was able to have her first ever friend's birthday party ever in her life. And she now has friends that accept her for who she is and not what she has. The last time that she was on radiation, she was really struggling. I said, whatever you want after you're done, you just ask and I'll give you. So she asked to go to Disney, so we took her for Christmas in Disney World last year. They gave her in the top of the castle a gold star with her name. She wrote her name on it and they stuck it up there, and they said for her to have a wish.
Obviously, for breast cancer, there has been a lot of funds put into research because the advances they have made are amazing. So we need to continue that research, but we also need to continue to put some dollars and cents into other areas of cancer. And of course, my choice would be the brain tumor.
Wherever the Canadian Cancer Society can put the funding for children's brain cancer research to give children like Katrina or all across Canada the hope and the ability to become cancer-free, that's the main outcome. They don't deserve this. They're innocent in the world and they've done nothing wrong.
The Canadian Cancer Society Research Institute fund bold, innovative research. Not research that everyone else is doing, or not research that already has the answers, but just giving us freedom to operate and to do this research, which probably no one else would have funded.
I'm very satisfied with where they have me right now, but that's absolute thanks to people like you who are raising money for research. There isn't any other reason for that other than, a positive attitude and lots of support around me and the research that's been done.
The difference between the 10-year and the 14-year prognosis doesn't seem like a lot to some people. But to us, that was a victory. So we talk about that, like that's, you know, if people keep putting money into research and, you know, they keep finding new ways, if he gets 4 years every couple years, it's never going to catch up to him. So we just need that to keep happening.